there's the drill going back in up there, and my buddy is displaying one of the core samples that came out. If I can hold that so we can see how big it is. It's like a good amount of serpentine. These are all full of core samples. And then you guys recognize this view. This is where we are working to get everything set up for that.
So you get water out of this hole, or is that from the drill? That's from the drill. It's probably like a circle. Yeah, you can go there now.
Snapped off?
Looks the same as that one.
So that one had that much water coming out?
Yeah.
That's crazy. There's so much water was coming out, it just tapped it to use for the drill. That's unbelievable. There's so much water here.
You weren't able to hear the water that's gushing out of those two down holes is actually dewatering the rock back there. The flow that was coming in over the back, which was a steady pour, is kind of almost dried up to nothing.
Huh.
And you notice in here, it's not as wet as it used to be.
Yeah, you're right actually. It used to be a lot drippier.
It was like raining in here. So just all that water coming out from below us is
You're right.
dewatering everything above us.
You're right. I didn't notice that. But yeah, absolutely. Well, look, that was nice because it was really drippy here. And then this is funny. We actually have a pistage here on the left, and all the water is just running down between the rails like a canal. So one of the few places we have a functional pistage, we just have a canal. That's actually really funny.
Yeah. All my hard work.
Yeah, all of the hard work. So the 1600 is back there. We're getting it prepped for the next drift we're going to run. We've got all the equipment staged back here because we're going to start blasting where that 1600 is. So obviously this stuff can't stay there. Looking around here some more, this is of course where that big collapse is right there at the 1660. But we're looking here some more, and this here is actually the remains of an ore chute. See all the quartz up there? So that's an ore chute that was sealed off probably by the crew in the 1950s. Got more quartz right here. And then this is the manway running up. That rope is presumably from the crew in the 1990s. And then the manway runs up past that. You can see it past it. It runs up there. One of these times I'll get up there and give you a better look. But I thought it was interesting that this was an ore chute, because obviously this must have been a pretty significant stope for them to be cleaning out. And then for whatever reason they eventually blocked it off. But lots of work going on back here. Lots of work. Some of this is core drilling equipment. Some of this is our equipment. It's a mix. Alright, we're at the 1600. That's the switch you recognize. It's all cleaned out though. Reason being is that the next drift is going to be running right here next to the tank. So the idea is, since none of us want to move this tank at all, the idea is to put a shield here and do smaller blasts as we start punching back that way. But that is where the next drift is going to go. More of the stuff will get taken out. We've already got most of it out. Stuff we don't care about, like that old tank right there, is going to stay. But yeah, we've cleaned a lot out. Looks pretty good. And this will be going on when the core drilling is going on. So we're going to have to be careful not step on each other's toes, so to speak. We're on the other side of that collapse now. And what's interesting is with the core drilling, having all that water dumping out over there, it's like a faucet shut off in here, because there used to be water just pouring down back here. A waterfall, especially back there. And that's all stopped, which is actually really nice, because it was miserable being back here. Old carbide, I can't remember if I showed you this before. The old carbide lamp. Can right there, which is kind of cool. This section runs up there. This looks like newer work though. Can't remember if there's a bunch of water dripping down from that section or not, but there definitely was back here. There's still a few little drops, but nothing, just absolutely nothing like it used to. This is really cool. And then up here, I don't know if you recall or not, but up here there was just a cascade of water coming down. Yeah, there's still some, but nothing like it used to. This came up from down there. This section still has some water dripping down, but not like it used to. You can see the vein all through there. And then the drift continues there. It's cool seeing this. Just climbed in from there, and this was really deep the last time I came in here. So it's really nice to be able to just walk in here now. This was all underwater when I came in. And then, I showed you before, but I didn't have a good light with me. Face is out right here. This face, you see some water pouring down, but not like it used to.
All that water is coming out what looks like of just one hole that they probably drilled. Because they've got a piece of sheet metal going up there. I'm going to do a LiDAR mapping.
Yeah. Okay. So yeah, there's that section right there. And then, so where did you say it was up there? Because I didn't call up there last time.
It looks like they just followed a little bit of a fault or old vein of where like you get the clay on the inside, like what we had in our drift. And it looks like they just followed that and carved it out and stopped like
no kidding.
20 feet up.
So down there was as far as I got last time, because the water was coming down here like a waterfall, and I didn't have proper gear with me, plus there was time pressure. So having climbed up here now, you can see it does just end right there. That's it. Sorry, I have my finger in the way. That's the end. Interesting ground back here. You can see. The water's just coming out of a hole behind this sheet of metal here. And there's a little stream right there. You can see the contact zone really clearly right there. See the two really distinctive types of rock. And then behind me. That's interesting. You know, looking at it, you would think that this section right here, this vein section over here, will be really rich. I mean, look, you got the quartz and the iron. I mean, it's got all the, it's on a fault. It's got all the stuff you want to see. But I guess Didn't play out too well. I was wondering if maybe the drift kept going straight and it caved, but if you look here, you can see that's all solid rock. There's no drift that keeps running here. This is the end of this level. Which is interesting because the maps we have showed us going back hundreds of feet more, but maps are not always accurate. Just came out of there. Take another look at this vein right here along the fault. A bunch of clay jammed up in here as well, which you can see a better example of down here. It almost looks like plaster material. That's not, but it kind of has that look. Just because it's been getting ground up so much. And then, give me a second. This material here, I'm trying to hold both. This is, I've never seen quartz with quite that structure before. It's sort of popcorny. And I'm not used to seeing quartz look like that. My friend going out. You can see this material is obviously not very strong. You've got that fault gouge right there. That stuff's really soft. So I'm not surprised it's all caved out over time. We're gonna go inspect. There's, at that big collapse of 1660, where it all slabbed down, we're gonna see if we can climb up that and get in the raise, at the Compton stope raise. I'll explain better when I get there. We just finished looking down that section. This is the big 1660 collapse here. And I think I've showed you this stope before. There's that big stope running up there, and the Compton stope's right over there, and it looks like we can climb up these slabs here and get up into it. So I'm going to take a stab at that and see if I'm successful. So I just climbed up over all that rubble there, and once I got up over the initial part, it's actually pretty easy to walk over this. Here is, of course, the quartz vein in front of me, and you see some ugly materials come down, but look how far up this stope runs. See that platform up there? This is really cool. Some big slabs have come down, as you can see, but we've done a pretty good job getting all these stoles in. This is the Compton stope in front of me. And remember that ore chute? Remains of that ore chute I showed you looking up? That's the side of it right there. So it would have dropped down. There would have been another side closer to me. All the ore dropped down that way. Can you see my light? My buddies are down there, but I think they're coming up. Okay. So you can't see my light. So yeah, I'm at the ore chute. So there's another side of the ore chute. And that runs up, and you see all that forest of stoles up there. That's crazy. Big rocket caught right there. Keeps running up. So obviously in the past you could have gotten up this way, but we're not going to be able to do that now. So we're going to either have to go up to 1200 or figure out a way up on the other side there. But this is really interesting to see. There's my buddy there for some scale. And if you didn't hear him, he's standing right on top of the 1660 collapse. Something interesting I noticed here, you see those notches cut in the side? Well, my light's washing it out, but there, they had stoles there, up there. So they would have been able to just walk, almost like using a ladder. Not quite, but almost like using a ladder to get up to those upper levels. Because obviously there's a sub-level right there where that platform is. This is really cool. That's the sound of the electric drill, or the core drill, which is powered by electricity in the background. If you're hearing that noise. Huge slab of quartz right there. This is really interesting. I was just shooting back there where that forest of stoles is, and climbed over this rubble that's fallen down. The 1660 is what I'm standing on right now. That 1660 collapses. All this where these huge slabs are. More a view of the vein here, and how this stope chamber runs way up there. But you see how clearly delineated that vein is? It's pretty interesting. And I just realized that I thought this was a separation, but instead that's just rubble. In other words, you see the stope up there, it just continues over, and it did originally, but these huge slabs have come down and filled in this section. So it looks like it's separate, but it wasn't originally. And that's actually really sketchy because there's just nothing holding that mass together. It's got all these smaller individual rocks in it. Any one of those came down, it would kill me. So this isn't a place to hang out. But with all the blasting going on, it hasn't shaken loose yet. Hopefully it won't do it while I'm standing here showing this to you, but man, that's crazy. Anyway, interesting stuff back here. So the stuff I'm standing on looks like it all sloughed out from right there, given the color of the slabs and such. So, all right, I am gonna squeeze out down through there.